Morning, everybody. I think today I'm going to make some restaurant style hash browns. You know those hash browns when you go out to breakfast you just really love? We are going to make those, and it's pretty simple stuff. You want to start with your potato. You want kind of a starchy potato, but you know, just about your favorite kind of potato will work. I generally, russet is my go-to. So I am going to start by peeling this bad boy up. Then we have a bowl of water here to, because you want to rinse them down, cool them off. The rinsing the down is the main thing. Get all those extra starchy sugars off there, and it will fry up really, really nice. All right, got our potato. Don't worry about rinsing it off. And kind of grater you got, but this is one I prefer. So I just like to do it. You don't have to, do it in a bowl of water. You can just do it on a plate or something and then rinse them off in cold water. I just find it's easier to do this, and that way they get a kind of a good rinse. And it's easier to catch it in this big glass bowl than on a plate, because you get to doing this, it can get messy. I don't have one of those box ones like everybody else has. Just a little bit of potato left. I'll just chuck it in there. All right. There, we're all grated up. We're gonna let that. Grab a couple paper towels. And we are just going to let this sit for just a second. I'm gonna get you a handful. Try to get as much water out of them as you can. And then set them on that towel. Ideally, you want these to be as dry as possible. Okay, look at that. See how starchy that is? That's out of one dang potato. All right, now with the magic of camera, we'll go to the stove. I'm having trouble getting this thing positioned. Either the light's in the way or the sunlight's blinding it. You can't get a good angle on it, but you can see from right there. Get your pan preheating. Little bit of oil. You don't want too much oil in these, or they just come out soggy. I took my paper towel, kind of dabbing it dry, but we're gonna let that pan heat up before we do anything. Like I say, these are, I call them the restaurant style, but to be honest, they're better than the restaurants, because the restaurants usually use a frozen, they're flash frozen, and a lot of times they're dehydrated. So in a restaurant, they usually soak them and then cook them. I'm showing you how to do it fresh. And fresh is always better. See how that little piece in there is sizzling? We're just about there. Make sure pan's got plenty of oil around it. I think it's ready. Drop browns in. Get them all spread out. You want to kind of try to get them off these edges. Try to get them flattened out a bit. You don't want them too thick. These are probably about a 1/2 inch in this pan, but you don't want them too thick. Otherwise, they ain't gonna cook through. Then take little bitty pieces of butter and just put them about 3 different spots around. I always go ahead and salt and pepper at this point. I like plenty of pepper. Now the trick to these is, first of all, the butter. Secondly, don't touch them. Don't touch. Don't touch your hash browns. You want those hard and crispy and done before you ever touch them. Because if you don't, if potatoes are packed in there so tight, all those pieces are so tight and there's so much water in them still, that if you go stirring and touching this and that, they're going to end up steaming in there. You don't want them to steam in there. That'd be just like boiling them, and that's why they come out mushy. If you got a problem making mushy hash browns, that's why. It's because you touch them. Don't touch them. Those things will be all the way done before I flip them. If you gotta, make sure you got a good seasoned non-stick pan. That's pretty much imperative. Now, if you like putting onion in your hash browns, this is the point where you'd want to do that. See, you're starting to get brown on the edges, but if you shredded a little onion across the top of there, you want to be careful because the onion's going to cook faster than the potatoes. So if you put it on there and then flip your potatoes over, they're going to cook awfully fast. Now, I know you can't probably tell, but see, you're starting to get a nice crust around the edges. We're not there yet. Almost. But these are going to have that beautiful golden buttery flavor that, IHOP can't compare to this shit or stuff. These are going to be great. Okay, we're about where I want them on that side. Go ahead and you can turn them with a spatula, or you just give them a flip. Put a little piece of butter on that side. We're going to do the same to the back side. Probably enough salt. I gotta be careful with my salt intake, but my pepper intake is out of this world. I'm just gonna give that a few minutes to cook and we will be in business. We'll be eating soon. Good. That is my favorite part about the cooking. It's the eating. I think I've proven that. That was probably my second biggest mistake in life, was ever learning how to cook. Before I learned how to cook, I was a skinny guy. I was a skinny guy and I was athletic. Then I learned how to cook. Well, I started driving a truck, become a truck driver, and then learned how to cook, and those two combinations don't work well together. Now, your backside is not going to take as long as your front side because your middle is pretty much already cooked. It's already just about there on the backside. Now, you can leave them longer if you want them crispier. I don't like my hash browns that crispy. It's got crispy edges. I don't want the whole thing crispy. Give it just another minute. Alright, I think that's about where we want to be. You can see we're brown most of the way across the bottom. Maybe give them another minute. Now what you can do if you want, you can, and I've done this a few times, you can just like tear it all apart, break it all up right now, then fry it some more, and then you get some, it comes out completely different. You get lots of crispy bits inside the tender bits, and it's not quite like that. Alright, it's starting to get a little more done on the back than I want. That would be, that's mostly my burner smoking. Yeah. Anyway, that, my friends, is your restaurant quality hash browns. Friggin' delicious. Now I just gotta throw a couple eggs on it. Have a great day. Happy cooking.